Today we are seeing the conversion from binary to gray. So we have seen other conversions like hex numbers, then binary number, decimal number and octal number. Same way gray, actually it is a gray code. So we have seen the different types of code, and so gray code is one type of code. So it is also a binary code, but whenever you want some coding technique to be used in some particular application, you use this gray code. So this gray code can be used with 4-bit binary number, 10-bit or 16-bit, but it has some limitation. You can't extend to very large number of binary bits, followed or binary number. Now this, how do you carry out the conversion from binary to gray? Means you convert a given binary number, if suppose of 4-bit or 8-bit, to a gray type of code. Means you code the given binary in gray code, followed. So the method is that whenever we read a binary number, we have already seen the rightmost bit is called as LSB, least significant bit, and the leftmost bit is called as most significant bit. So we always read from either left to right or right to left. It's better that when we assign the positional weight, we always read from right to left. Now then same way, suppose then how do you convert a given binary to gray? To convert the given binary to gray, the method is first, whichever is the MSB symbol, either it is binary 1 or 0, write it in the result. Means that is, result is what? Your gray code. The MSB will come as it is, whether it is 0 or 1, as it is you will write. Then what to do next? Next, whatever your first bit, MSB bit you have in the given binary number or primary binary number, which you have to convert into gray code, the first bit you go on ORing with the successive bit, XORing with the successive bit. What is XORing? Now that we'll see later. So we first MSB, what did I say? You take it as it is, don't do anything on that. Then further, what operation you have to carry out? The first MSB bit you XOR with the second bit. Okay, and whatever after XORing the 2-bit, whatever you get, the result is the second bit of your obtained code. Then same way, the second bit you will XOR with the third bit, followed, third bit, and whatever the, again the result will be what? XOR of the 2 bits, again take the result as a third bit of the gray code. So this way for 3 bits you can do, then for 4-bit again the XORing will go on increasing. What did I say? XORing. XORing means what? Exclusive ORing. Exclusive ORing. So you can see the symbol in the slide. It is a plus sign with a circle. So hence it is called as exclusive ORing. Generally ORing, logic ORing means what in your binary arithmetic? It is addition. But the addition is little bit different. We have already seen how the binary addition is carried out in the, it generates sum and carry in the last topics. So now here, how do you then carry out XORing? So listen carefully. Suppose I want to carry out XORing of 2-bit number. So 2-bit means how many combinations I am going to have? 2 raised to n. Now what is my n? 2-bit. So 2 raised to n, 2 raised to 2 is equal to 4. So this way I have 4 combinations. So first I'll have say 0, 0 means 0 XOR 0 is equal to 0. Next combination I'll have 0 XOR 1. So 0 XOR 1 is 1. Then third combination I'll have 1 XOR 0 will be also 1. But last combination left is what? 1 XOR 1. 1 XOR 1 is 0. So what you will remember, what are the conclusion drawn when you XOR either 2-bit or any bit number? When the inputs are equal or when the bits are of same value, that is 0, 0 or 1, 1, their output is 0. It results into 0 output. When the inputs are different, either 0, 1 or 1, 0, or maybe for 3-bit it will change, then the output is high. or it is 1, logic 1. Remember this. So this is, you should first listen carefully how we carry out XORing. Then now we'll implement it and we'll find out the gray code for the given binary number shown in the example in the slide. So what is the example shown? The example is shown of a 4-bit binary number, that is 1010 binary. You are converting into gray. Base is shown as 2 and you have to convert it into gray. So how to proceed? What step I told? So first of all, then for easiness, what do you do? Write out the bit position. Okay, bit position of what? The data which is given to you, the 4-bit data. So I'll start from the MSB. MSB is 1, so I'll mark it as, so or LSB, we start generally naming it, weighing it from the LSB side. You can do that also. So this is MSB means the highest bit position, B3, take it as B3, second as B2, third as B1 and fourth the LSB bit. I am moving in opposite direction, it will be B0. Here also whatever they have shown, they have started XORing. How? They have started XORing, finding the gray code from least significant bit. So you can either proceed from MSB or proceed from LSB. But what is the procedure? MSB in the final result of the gray code is taken as it is. No arithmetic operation or no XORing is carried out on it. Remember this. So let us start from the LSB. B0 is 0. And what is B1? 1. So 0 XOR 1. What did I say? Odd inputs or different inputs, output is 1. Then the next XORing will be, so we got the first result as 1. So write down. Then next result is what? 0, 1 is over. Then miss B0, B1. Now B1, B2. B1 XOR B2. That is 1, 0 again. So 1 XOR 0 is 1. Then next XORing will be B3 and B2, B3. Okay, B3 and B2 or B3, B2, B3. Followed? So again it is 0, 1. So what it will be? 0 XOR 1, 1. Right? Now, then what did I say? MSB will be taken as it is. Means in the 4th bit of the gray code, MSB, that is 1, will be as it is. Clear? This is how you convert binary to gray. Take one more example of 6 digits. It has been shown here. So again the number is 110010. So start marking from the MSB. So it is B5, B4, B3, B2, B1 and B0. Then what to do? What is the method? So if we are proceeding from LSB, start XORing directly, or if we are proceeding from the MSB, what is the rule? The first bit of the gray code will be the MSB as it is. Now we'll proceed in this way. Okay. So first take the MSB 1 as it is. Then what is the next number? B. What is your MSB? Is B5. So B5 as it is. Now what I'll do? XOR B5 with B4. So 1 XOR 1, what we saw? It will be 0. Then now XOR B4 with B3 position. So B4 with B3, again 1 XOR 1 will be 0. Same inputs, so it will be 0. Then now XOR B3 with B2. But what is B3? 1. What is B2? 0. 1 XOR 0 will be what? 1. Okay, different inputs, output is 1. Then now B3, B2 we have XORed. Now XOR B2, B1. So what is B2, B1? 0 XOR 1 again. So it will be 1. Now last what is remaining? B1 XOR B0. So that will be 1. This is how you convert given binary to gray. What is the procedure? Once again, take the MSB as it is. If you start from the MSB, that is the first result in the output, and go on XORing the next successive bit. If you start from the LSB, go on, no need of, you don't take the LSB directly, you go on XORing the LSB with the next positional bits, right? This is conversion from what? For binary to gray. Now next, gray to binary. How do you carry out gray to binary conversion? So this type of conversion is also called as unit distance method, and the use of gray code is very popular in digital system in implementation of logic circuits. It is used in K-map, Karnaugh map, which we are going to see in the next unit. This gray code actually it helps in designing a K-map, that is Karnaugh map, which is used for simplification of the logic circuit. Then it is used in error detection circuit because XORing is involved in it. So in error detection, we will use error detection means when data is being transmitted, if there is a loss or corruption of any information, we have to detect the error. So that is an error, the corruption or whatever interference has taken place. Then optical encoders, it is used. Now what is this optical encoder? Means anything optical means anything to do with light. So encoding any optical device, okay, or a moving object. Moving object basically when you talk about electronic instrumentation system, means in industry, suppose take a shaft of a motor, shaft which is rotating. You have seen small motors at home, the DC motor to which you plug the fan or anything. So when that, what is the moving part is called as rotor. So in industry when you are working, it is numerically controlled or computerized machine. So you code the data with the help of this gray code. Okay, so these are the applications of gray code. Now the conversion, so when we have converted binary to gray, even we'll require that we convert whatever gray code we have to again decode it. So we convert gray code back to binary. So how to do? Again we can convert 3-bit, 4-bit, 10 bits and so on. Okay, it has limitations for higher number of bits, but conversion from binary to gray is easy, but gray to binary becomes complex when the number of bits increases. Followed? Now how to convert? The procedure is little bit slight different. The steps are slight different from binary to gray. The first step is as it is, that take the MSB. If you have a 3-bit binary number or 3-bit gray number, so take the MSB as it is. Then what to do? Next step is different from binary to gray conversion. In the next step, after taking the MSB, which is the first bit of the binary code, what you are supposed to do, whatever result you have obtained, okay, that result, suppose I have obtained 1 or 0, that result you will be XORing with the second bit, not the preceding bit, but the result what you are getting, the resultant you are going to XOR with the primary bit. Then whatever you will XOR, that will be the next bit of the result of the binary code. Then again whatever result we got, that will be XORed with the third bit and we'll obtain the third bit of the result for the binary code. So this way when the number goes on increasing, you convert not by XORing with the successive bit. Remember the difference between the conversion. Now it is gray to binary. What is the procedure? Take the MSB as it is, go on XORing with the obtained previous result, not the successive bit as conversion from binary to gray. Clear? Now let us see an example. An example is shown here, that is 0011, a 4-bit number. You have to convert it into binary. Again number, now this is a gray code. So start numbering from the MSB G3, G2, G1, G0. So first step is what? We'll start from the MSB, take the MSB as it is. So MSB is 0, that is the first output of the binary code, 0. Then next, what to do then? Next step, whatever 0 result we have got, that will be XORed with the next bit. So next bit is 0. 0 XOR 0 will be 0. So what is the second binary bit code? 0. Then that 0 result will be XORed with whom? The next primary bit, that is 1. 0 XOR 1 will get 1. Now this 1 will be XORed with the fourth bit, that is 1. So 1, that is 1 was the result, previous result. So 1 XOR 1 will become 1. So this way we'll obtain what? 0 0 1 1 is 0 0 1 0 is the conversion from gray to binary. Remember this. Followed? Now next, look at the next one more conversion, one more example is shown here, that is 1001. This is what again? The gray code, given gray code or the primary code. So again number it as G3, G2, G1, G0, right? And then what you will do, take the MSB as it is in the binary code 1, you will take it as it is. Now what to do? This one result of the binary code we will XOR with the second bit. What is our second primary bit? 1 XOR 0. What is 1 XOR 0? 1. So write down as the second bit of the result. Then now this second bit of the result 1 you will XOR with the third primary bit is 0. 1 XOR 0 will again give us what? 1. Then now this result 1 will be XORed with the fourth bit 1, primary bit 1. So 1 XOR 1 will be what? Same number. So its output will be 0. So this way we get binary code as 1110. Clear? This is how you convert gray to binary. So go through, if any problem we will solve it once again. Now the last type of coding is the ASCII code. ASCII code is a very important type of code which is known as American Standard Code for Information Interchange. It is also called as alphanumeric code. Now we have seen in coding why the code word is necessary for the binary digit to represent, to store, easy transmission and reception. So where you use this ASCII code, or this ASCII code is the standard code which is set up by the American Standard Agency universally for your computer keyboards. Keyboards has what? Characters, different types of characters like control character, it may have alphabets, numbers and many special functions and special control character keys are there. So suppose one character you press, say small a. So the small a, how the machine will understand, the computing device will understand? Will it understand it is a? No. It will be converted first into hex for our simplicity, and then that hex equivalent binary will be given to the machine or the computer processor, microprocessor, which will understand what is, because which will understand what is the information, process it and then give the output to the user. Now so why but this is done? Because we know machine only understands logic 1 and logic 0. Followed? It doesn't understand hex value, neither we code it in hex, neither it understand decimal. So then we have such conversion programs which converts this our decimal number or alphanumeric code into hex and then into binary for the machine to process and understand. Clear? Remember this. Now then this code is basically used to exchange the information between the input output device and the computer and to store it in the memory. Now this ASCII, actually it is, we know, we have seen what is the full form of it. Actually it is from the word ASCII, A-S-K, ask, K-E-E, key. Means you're asking this key to be entered into the processor. Processor is the main part of any computing device, remember that. So it is whatever information we have to send, we are sending it with the help of what? With the help of the key. When we press the key, information is sent to the processor for processing, right? So hence it is called as ASCII. And this is ASCII means ASCII of the ask the key. Key means the character from the keyboard for the processor, right? So hence it is the word it is abbreviated as ASCII. Okay, basically it has the relation in this term. Okay, now this ASCII code, whatever text you are representing, whatever with the telecommunication devices, means your modem and all, when you work with, so this all exchange of the information is carried out with the help of this ASCII code, means you code the character with the in the ASCII form. Okay, so this is a standardized code all over the world. Now then, how many bit code is the ASCII? It is 7-bit code. So 7-bit code means then how many combinations we can have, how many different characters we can code. So 7 means 7 binary bits. So 2 raised to 7 is equal to how much? That is 128. But we code from 0 to 127. That becomes equal to 128. So this way we can code up to 128 different characters in how many bit string of 7 bits. Remember this, okay? Now, so each character is coded in form of this binary number with 7 bits. Clear? So there is actually a table provided for this. We have it in reference books. We can get it from net also. So this table, I'll explain you what is this. I'll show you the table and tell you what it means. Okay, what it represents. Now look at the table. This is the ASCII table. What is the ASCII table showing you? It is showing the decimal number, means the decimal equivalent of the given character, then hex number, then OCT means octal number. So as I told you, any binary bit, for our easiness, we understand the decimal, and then for storing we want the smaller number, that is we code each decimal with hex. And then what we do, for the machine to understand, we have to convert those information in form of binary, and then the data will be processed by the processor and given to the outside world, we user, which will be again converted into hex and then into decimal for our understanding. So now this table shows you what? Look at the table. So it shows the characters, okay, space, null, then backslash, plus sign, greater than, equal to, and it is showing you the equivalent decimal number for it, and it is showing you the hex equivalent and octal equivalent. We have already seen this type of numbers, decimal, hex and octal. Followed? So this way you represent what this chart represents, or we represent the standard value of each character which are found on the keyboard or which we use, how it is coded in hex, decimal and octal. Followed? And from this you can find out its binary equivalent. Followed? Now, so character A, capital A, is represented by decimal number 65. So this all few characters you will remember, capital A to Z and small a to Z, because it will be useful in your programming. When you carry out the programming in C, followed, this values C or assembly language, you will remember this code because it will help you, suppose to find out that whether the character which is pressed is capital A or capital B, or it is small a or B. This can be found out by applying proper logic in your program. So for this you can remember at least some of the codes which is given in decimal and which is given in hex. Okay, and what you'll remember always, whatever hex number or decimal number is shown here, the decimal number is equivalent to one of the character, but each character is how many bit equivalent binary? Each character is 7-bit equivalent binary. So this you are supposed to remember. Okay, and one more very important thing is that today whatever keyboard we have, today's keyboard is actually coded with EBCDIC code or advanced ASCII code, because the control characters are not 128, it is more than that. Whatever characters we have, they are more than the number 128. So definitely we can't work with 7-bit, because if it is 8-bit number, so EBCDIC code is 8-bit number. So 8-bit means how many characters then we can code? 2 raised to 8 is 256. So this way you should understand the things and understand what is the ASCII code. You can find out its this what you call equivalent binary for each character. You can frame the words like say baby or ball or apple and find out how many binary bits are there in this ASCII code. Write down the equivalent 7-bit code, and this all you can do as a assignment. Okay.